All right, another viewer request with the old DX6i. It's just still a relevant transmitter, still a good transmitter. I used it in my range test recently. Let me try to capture this. One of the bad things about this is the screen's kind of hard to see, but the question is, how do you get all three flight modes, like on a an E-flight or a hobby zone, basically a Horizon Hobby trainer that has safe modes on channel 5 and panic mode on channel 6. How can you get all three flight modes? Because all the switches are only two-way. So here's one method. This works for the AeroScout for sure, and should work for any of them that have the flight modes on channel 5 and safe or panic mode on channel 6. So first I'll show you how I've got it configured here. So you have to use two switches for it. There's no three-way switch. So I'm using the flap switch, which is channel 6, and the gear switch, which is channel 5. Put your flaps in the number 1 position, and then your normal flight modes, you're going to switch with 0 is going to be your AS3X only, advanced mode, and then if you switch to 1, that's going to be your intermediate mode. So like in an AeroScout, for example, that's going to be your envelope mode, bank limits but no auto leveling. And then if you want to do the self level, you can't really get to mode 1 easily. There may be some other ways to do this, but the easiest way is to just use the panic mode for that. So since we don't have a push button for panic mode, you're just going to actually flip this switch. So when the flap switch goes to the 0 position, that puts you in panic mode, which is basically self-leveling. So it'll self-level the plane. It doesn't matter which mode you got this in. As soon as you enable panic, it is going to self-level the plane. So you essentially got a safe mode. The rates and stuff are slightly different on a stock bind and fly for panic mode, but it will effectively put it in auto level mode and save the plane, just like safe would. You are a little more limited in panic mode for your bank limits and stuff, and gains in the panic mode. So just be aware of that. Your controls are going to be a little more limited than you would be in the normal safe mode. But if you watch the channel monitor here, the bottom one is the aux. That's channel 6. Right now I've got it in mode 1. That's panic mode. If I flip the flap switch down, you can see the indicator goes over to the right. Okay, so that's panic mode. You can see it over there on the left. If I switch it to non-panic mode, moves over to the right. And then channel 5, I've got it switching, so that over there on the left-hand side is your AS3X only mode. When I switch it to position 1, you see it goes center. Center is intermediate mode. I could get it all the way over there. You could also switch it between safe mode and intermediate, or just, personally I would just use safe mode and AS3X only mode and just ignore the intermediate mode because I don't think it's all that useful. But so real quick, let me try to show you how I've done this. Let's back out of that. Hopefully you can see this. It's really difficult to see. There's only one change you got to do because those two channels are already set up like that. Go to the adjust list. We're going to go down to mix number 1. So here's the settings for that. Hopefully they're visible. Try to get a better angle at it. So I've just got it set to gear, active. Leave the rate at plus 100, and this is the only thing you change is the U. Change that to minus 100. And what that does is it moves over the number 1 position from being over here to the middle position. If you leave that at 0 and that at plus 100, then that gear switch just goes from minus 100 to plus 100. That's the only change you do, is put that in the mix, and then it'll work the way I've described here. I did verify this on an airplane receiver, so it does work.